Praise the Lord, everyone. Thank you for tuning in with Dr. Lesia, the preacher. Okay. Just now, I was just thinking about conflict resolution, management, and things like that. One of the things that I do struggle with throughout my life, throughout my entire life, I've always avoided conflict. Even in marriage, I do whatever it takes to avoid having to argue. I mean, like raise voices. I just, the thought of someone that I love and make love to, share bed with, that I find to be a leader, so to speak. I mean, that's the way the church taught it. I just don't know where these leadership skills are taught. How do all these men have these leadership skills? And some people say, oh, it's just, they just born that way, born to lead. Okay. You still have to be taught some stuff. There's a lot of stuff that still need to be taught throughout the life. Any leader, any leader has to be taught, and it's ongoing for life. For life, men, if they're going to lead up families, need training, ongoing family training. The first time a man get married, he's never had a family before. He's never had a wife before. There's no way he knows what to do. Even if he watched his daddy, if he had one, if he was blessed to have a dad in the home, he still ain't gonna know what to do a lot of times. You know what I mean? I experienced this twice. I married men who had fathers in the home, but it didn't matter in the marriage. Them having fathers in the home didn't matter one bit because the type of fathers they had, the type of fathers they had, they were mimicking them and end up with the same results, basically. So, again, conflict management. I was so busy. Well, I won't say that. I mean, like, I was busy doing everything, raising kids and everything. But as far as specifically this title, I was more invested in avoiding conflict, avoiding uh, dealing with anything because I just felt like men do what they want. I didn't have much experience with either husband doing what I ask. I mean, if I say take out the trash, I mean, yeah, they'll do that. But if I say, we need to buy this property or we need to do this over here, let's make this business move. Let's, what I'm saying? The stuff that matter, stuff that build generational wealth for like 3 and 4 generations deep. That's the way my mind worked. My mind is generational wealth building. And I mean, literally picking and choosing who go to college and for what reason, encouraging which kids to, consider what skills based on what family businesses we have. And all that matters to me. I really do live this way. But I married people who don't think that way. They believe in each person start from scratch and work their way through life. Well, I don't. So that's how they lived. And they knew how I wanted to live. But they didn't practice what they just, we would decide stuff together, but because they the leader and got the actual money, they can do the opposite of what they agreed to me with, and there was nothing I could do. There's no one to hold these men accountable. Their fathers don't give a fuck. The pastors at churches ain't doing right and is not going to hold them accountable. Their employers don't hold them accountable no more. They can have affairs at work now. Everybody at your job can know that a man is married and this other woman is sleeping with him. There's no accountability anymore. There was a time if a husband was cheating, he would lose everything. His job, position at work, all kind of stuff, where there's no penalty now. No penalty for when men change their mind on a woman. It used to be like a sin, but now it's like, oh, well, she was stupid. A man can promise a woman everything, put a ring on it, treat her like a dog, and somehow it's her fault. Every time. Even the women in her family will turn on her, knowing that this man is the man that's doing all the dirt. It's really sad. It's really sad. So, again, I was afraid to argue, even raise my voice. So that means a lot of stuff was just sliding because I didn't want to raise my voice. Now, I talk. I like to talk. As y'all can see, I'll talk, 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 talk. I will talk. I will write stuff down. I believe in contracts, all of that. But I will not raise my voice. You're not going to be cussing me out. I'm not going to be cussing you out. I don't act the way I don't want to. Not in no relationship. Now, if I'm in some type of debate, something juicy like that, that's different. Yeah, let's get it on. But in a relationship, a marriage, you're me. And I don't want to treat myself like that. I don't even want to yell at me. I'm somewhat of a, you know, I'm somewhat of a princess type. I was until this man ruffled all my feathers. He ruffled all my feathers and ran off with another woman. Changed the way I communicate, changed the way, a lot of me changed my behavior wise. And then he left. It's like he created a ugly monster out of me, and I did not come to him. I did not come to him an ugly monster. He would not have married me if I was. Trust. But he changed me over time into an ugly monster and left. I changed so much that no one in my family, including my own mother, don't want to fuck with me. My own mother don't want to be bothered with me. That's how much that marriage changed me. And these people are proud to have me out of their life. They don't care I'm gone. They're proud. I'm like, it's very shocking, but it's okay. I know this is the way the world is. I get it now. I really thought people were much better than they are. And I probably thought I was much better than I was. For me to be changed in a negative way that I am, I'm not even as good as I thought I was. How about that? I'm honest, y'all. I ain't got no reason to lie about even myself, you know? And so because I didn't want my husbands to ever yell at me, hit me, I didn't want to be nothing negative. I don't want to experience negativity. I don't want to experience it in relationships. Be kind to me. But that's not reality, guys. No one told me that it was a reality. No one told me that the chances of having a relationship where there's no arguing, no fighting, no nothing like that. No one told me that it's impossible. But yet, at the same time, leave. Leave. So how do people have long-term marriages when there's arguing, when there's high energy, negativity? How do you endure it? I got ran over. I became a doormat, avoiding conflict. I became a doormat. I didn't know how to push back when they're cheating. I didn't know how to push back when they don't give me money. If I ask and you don't give me the money, I just walk away. But I don't have a job of my own like that. I don't have independence. So that wasn't the answer. It wasn't the answer to just walk in and say, okay, well, I guess you don't want to give me no money. You know what I'm saying? But yet, I've only been a substitute teacher all this time. I don't have nothing to fall back on when he start pulling the money back so he can save it to run off with somebody else. Denying me money so he can give it to somebody else after 20 some years. I didn't gave everything for 20 some years, and you have the right now. You have the right because you're a man to withhold money from me because you think it's yours because you the one that driving a car and quote unquote do this little fake work and come back home. Well, yeah, you swinging with people at your work. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You flirting with people at work. You doing all this shit with people at work. But because you make the money, it's yours. Now you get to choose the breadcrumb me. Okay. And run off and give it to somebody else. See, that's the world we live in. They make women who have labored their ass off feel like you ain't shit. And this man got the right to run off on you. No matter how many years you put in, no matter how many diapers you changed, no matter how much sacrifice you made, you ain't shit. Just die. You half a bitch. You old now, you ugly, you black, you old, ugly, you die. Just die, bitch, die. After all you've done, it don't matter because you a woman. Just die. You a woman. Just die. And I'm just going to get the next one and do the same thing. That's the process. I've seen it happen a couple of times now. They just go from one woman, break her down, go to the next woman, break her down, go to the next woman, break her down, go to the next woman, break her down. And their families just be like, yay, showing up all the weddings. They show up at all the weddings, clapping, happy, being fake as hell. It's a vicious cycle and it must stop. And I know that it's going to take me pushing back. And I'm done with legal marriage. I already failed at it, okay? And a part of it was not knowing how to push back. Sometimes in your marriage, you got to get a lawyer and say, my husband's breadcrumbing me. What can I do? To change this. Sometimes a lawyer can have it where you can get alimony in your marriage. Some women need alimony while they're married. While they're married, not after marriage. You need a check while you're married because men do not share the money. You're sharing your sex, you're sharing everything you got. Your whole physical body is there for this man 24/7 at his disposal. We need alimony in the marriage. We need our own check in the marriage. Had I had my own money in the marriage, then I wouldn't have been treated like a cheap, broke down hoe while married, giving him the ability to save up so much money where he could run off and get a whole new wife. So, yeah, conflict management is very important in marriage because, again, the goal is to avoid women and children left broke because his feelings changed. He ain't feeling happy. How is it fair because a man don't feel happy that he can run off with money and leave everybody else broke behind? Women and kids suffering for generations? Make it make sense. Happiness is overrated. Happiness is overrated. It's a joke. How can you be happy for 15 years? Let's just For example, my husband was never happy. He never wanted me. He only married me to make some other woman jealous. It's really that simple. So I'm the butt of that's what a butt of a joke I am. That's what butt of a joke I am. I married someone who only married me to make somebody else jealous. I didn't know at the time, but it didn't take long to find out. And so I had, yeah, again, who cared? What does love got to do with it? Love comes from God. If it wasn't for God, there would be no love. Love does not originate from me. Love don't originate from no man. So you can be married 5, 10 years, and if he start acting funny with his love, I mean, oh well, at least you get love from God. The love from God is enough for me for the rest of my life. I just need the men and women on this earth to act right, and honor your own vows, honor the words and promises that come out of your own mouth. That's all I need from people. Keep your own love for you. Keep your love for you. Treat yourself right and honor your word. That's all I need. Love comes from God, and He give me plenty of it, with or without a man. I get plenty of love. That ain't the problem. We need generational wealth because we got kids. We need money. We need resources. We need homes and businesses, stuff that matter. All that happiness and love shit, that come from God anyway. You want to be happy? You need to pray. You need some love? You need to pray. Tap into the source where it come from. Don't look to me for everything because I don't have it. Just like you don't have everything, I don't look to you for it. I don't look to no man for everything. That's not even possible. He don't even have it for himself. No man even has everything for himself. So of course he don't have it for me. But what you do have, you better render it. You better give it up. Just like I am. I'm giving it up. Bruh, give it up. You ain't that much of a leader where you get to dictate if I die or not. Oh no. Oh no, that's in God's hands. So these men need to humble themselves, get their mind right, and realize what they doing. To them, it's just, you know, getting more sex. It's just getting changing up the sex. That's it, changing up the scenery. Well, your kids and grandkids gotta suffer for generations because you need a new pair of underwear. It gets ridiculous, guys. So I'm able to look back over my marriages of 32 years. 32 years, guys. It ain't like I'm basing it on bullshit. I'm talking some hardcore 32 years. I look back and I know, I even knew then. I knew then that conflict management was a problem. Just letting stuff slide and avoiding fights and all that. It can end a marriage. It can make it easy for people to just run off with money and affect the family for generations. And they don't care. Once they leave, they don't look back, they don't care. They just sleeping around, drinking, smoking, blowing money, partying with new people. They basically partying with new people because we did the hard part of life. We raised kids and sleepless nights, all that. We did the hard part together. Now he get to take more than half the money and run off and party life the rest of the way. I get to go out sometimes, but I'm up here trying to figure out how to be independent for the first time in my life. Like I said, I'm the butt of the joke. I was the foolish one, the stupid one, and I admit it. I ain't got a problem with it. I get on here every day and admit how dumb I was, just to help other women realize that they may be just as dumb and it may not be too late for them. It may be too late for me. I don't know. We have to see. But if you're in your 20s and 30s and even 40 maybe, it may not be too late for you to pray and get things turned around, whether you stay in that marriage or whether he leave you or you leave him, it don't even matter. Any point along the way, you need to become independent. As soon as the Lord allow, as soon as the Lord give you that give it to you, that chance. Take it and don't let go. You can't afford to, because there is no guarantee your husband's going to stay with you. In fact, count on it. As long as you count on him leaving, he may or may not. But as long as you're prepared, then you're good. It don't matter. He can go be happy all he wants because you set. As long as you don't depend on him, then you're good. As long as you just simply want him in your life and live like a woman who want her man, and don't be desperate like a woman who need her man. Don't need him, baby. Please don't. Just want him. Want him because God blessed you with him. Just that simple. Figure out how to be independent. If you don't have the kind of family that got your back, like your parents, your siblings, your cousins and uncles and whoever you got as family, if they don't have your back, then you have to have your own in this life. And that's what I've learned. Family and friends, not one family and friend is in my life today. Not one, not one, not one family and friend is in my life. All I got is me, my daughters, my 8 grandkids, and the people that love them. There are no people around me that love me, not one soul. No parents, no siblings, no cousins, nobody. And I'm good with that already. I'm learning to be okay with it. It's not easy. It's not easy because I used to have hundreds of people. I had access to hundreds of people before he left me. Before he left, I had access to a whole world. It all crashed and faded away. And he just went on, got the same people loving him, the same people love him, and he got a whole new nation of people loving him. And my first husband, same thing. Even my family, I got family members with my last name that are friends with my first husband and don't give a fuck about me. I'm just saying. That's how cruel life is. Your family and friends will follow your exes and don't fuck with you. That's the kind of life I've had. So I'm alone with my kids while my exes have access to my family. Make it make sense. But it makes sense. I was allowed to be molested by my family for 6 years as a child. So any enemy of mine, they're going to be on their side. They let me get molested all my life, basically. I got raped and robbed from my own family. So yeah, they're going to join and help people in my life that's going to hurt me too. It just makes sense. So I have to stay clear of everyone because they all talk about me. They all get on the phone and talk about me. So I just said, forget it. Again, I lack conflict resolution. I have a hard time dealing with the negativity that comes with family and friends. Friends, they have slept with my boyfriends, you know, my husband stole my daughter's girlfriend. I mean, there's just no one to trust. I've always been raped and cheated on and just left for abandoned. So I need to learn how to push back in life. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. So on this channel, I practice. I come on here and I practice pushing back. And I'm going to start, well, I already started the Cuss Me Out Wednesdays. You know, Cuss Me Out Wednesdays, confessions, dealing with evil. You know, it's ways for us weak people, vulnerable, weak people, naive people, just foolish people who don't know how to deal with others really. Yeah, everybody know how to deal with the good side of life. When someone say, "Oh, good morning, everybody," and just be kind. Everyone know how to deal with that. But most people are not acting like that. Most people are cheating on you and lying and to your face, and that's the stuff I don't know how to deal with because people wouldn't let me. People would not let me deal with them. Again, I was forced to be molested for 6 years of my life as a kid, and I could not push back. That we told, we got our butt beat. If you tell, if back when I was a kid, if you told about being molested, you got a whooping. What are you supposed to do with that? What do you do with that if you get a whooping from your uncle raping you? Your uncle rape you, you get a whooping. Why? Because he work. He's bringing in money and you just a kid. That's a problem. You're a child. That's a burden. And he's a grown man working, so we leaving him alone. He paying bills. That's really what it boiled down to. Oh, I left the comments off. Damn it, I always do that. And so someone in the comments I noticed said, "This lady's not a doctor." You don't think doctors have problems? You don't think doctors are suicidal and have bad marriages and are molested and raped? Are you kidding me? You could be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a judge, you could be Beyonce, you can be any damn body and be abused. You can. And I'm from the hood. I'm from the hood and I got a PhD. But I still got trauma. I still got stories to tell. And I'm going to tell them. And just because you don't think I'm appropriate, just like my exes, they didn't think I was good enough, just like my family didn't think I was good enough, well, just join the bandwagon. Nothing new. I used to go to therapy. I went to therapy for 5 years, but I had to go by myself because my husband didn't give a fuck. He didn't want to come with me. He just wanted to continue to cheat, steal our daughter's girlfriend, and do whatever the hell he wanted to do. I needed alimony in the marriage to keep from being breadcrumbed. You can't trust people to do right. You can't. Do not put any trust in people at all. Not even your doctor. Somebody, this woman and a doctor. Okay, good. Maybe good. Question more doctors. There you go. Let's flip this the other way. There's pros and cons to everything. There's good and bad to everything. Everything. Yeah, question all doctors. I just heard a YouTube video earlier about a woman who was pregnant. And she was 24 weeks pregnant. And she's already had, different type of medical issues and things. And her job was the one that suggests that she get a doctor's note so she could work from home. So she goes to her GYN, ask for this note that her employer asked her to do. Her doctor refused. She's like, "I don't see why you can't go to work. Just have them accommodate you at work. If you need a different type of chair or a cot or something, just make that happen." This woman refused to give her patient just a note that the employer was asking for. So just because somebody is a doctor don't mean shit. We still have mental illness. Doctors still have depression, bad marriages, bad families, everything. So again, the comments are for Wednesdays. Wednesdays, I'm ready for all that. Any other time, I just leave the comments off because I need to work on conflict management. And then I don't have a moderator either. I don't have anyone to you know, monitor my comments and delete the quote unquote bad ones. I don't have enough help or love in my life. I don't. And my kids and grandkids, they can only do so much. They have their own life to build. I'm not going to uh, impose on my kids and grandkids. I'm not going to force them to make up what husbands are not doing. That makes no sense to me. That's not fair to them. Wealth is supposed to roll down into the generations, not be pushed back up. To me, this is my opinion. I don't know what people think doctors are. They're just people. People that went to school and gained experience in something that they have the ability to do. But anyway, I'm going to work on conflict management. I need to brush up on it because I see where in marriage I didn't have any. I didn't know how to handle my husbands when it comes to conflict. I just let them have their way. And letting them have their way put me in a position where they just left me for the women and gave the other women all the benefits of my labor. So I'm just letting ladies know this is how it go. It can go. Now, there are other women out there on other channels who have had better experience in life than I have. They have. And they're going to have a whole different story. They're going to tell you how wonderful their husbands are and loving and supportive and caring and all that. Great. I listen to them too. They give us hope. They give broken women like us who have been treated the worst, they give us hope. So I watch those women too. I don't have their experience, so I can't speak. I can't speak on a good marriage if I didn't have one. I can only speak on the bad marriages I had to help people learn what are bad marriages. Bad marriages means that there's no conflict resolution. If your husband say no, you can't have nothing, that's just the end of it, which makes no sense because like where are you supposed to go to get your needs met, to get what you want? He can have whatever woman he want and control the money and do all the stuff, right? The stuff that matter. Until you know, and you're supposed to just sit in the corner and accept it. Keep on changing diapers, keep on cooking and spreading your legs. Bored. Because he don't want to share. He don't want to share. He don't want to share. He don't want you to have nothing. He just want to burn through you and give the next woman everything that you labored for and leave you with nothing. That's how it normally go. Yes, there are a few exceptions out there where women are treated better and end up with, what they're supposed to end up with in marriage. It do happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's just not my experience. So on this channel, you're going to hear what happens the majority of the time. The majority of the time, when you enter a marriage, ladies, you better be independent going in. Because if you're not independent going in, you sure as hell gonna be broke. When he leave you for the next woman, you will be broke and he not gonna care. He gonna be making love to her and partying, spending the money on her and not thinking about you. They be just as happy as hell with their new woman, laughing at you. They be laughing at you, broke, crying, trying to figure out how to pay the bills and feed kids. They laugh at us, ladies. They laugh at us. Our own husbands and their homewreckers laugh in our face. We're changing diapers, cooking, cleaning, doing right. And they laugh in our face. So you got to know this going in. Your love don't mean nothing to these men. Your love don't mean anything. Because the only love that matters is God's love. At the end of the day, God's love is the only love that really matters to any of us because that's where love comes from. So that's how your love don't mean anything to your husband. It don't. Because he's just going to run off to the next woman and claim her love is better. Your love is trash now. Your sex is trash now. Your food is trash now. Everything about you become trash as he run off to the next woman. I'm just warning you. Now, are there women that have better experiences out there? Yeah. Yeah, they are. But they are very few. The majority of married women do not have good experiences. I'm just letting y'all know. I have to. I have to let you know. It's only fair. Look at your own life. How many successful marriages are there compared to the ones that are not? And the ones that are not successful, why are they not successful? Why are they not? We can learn from both scenarios. We can learn from all the positive affirmations. They're so few and far between, though, but still listen to them because that's where our hope comes from. But reality says you're going to be cheated on and he's going to eventually leave you for somebody else. And you got to be prepared. I'm not saying don't get married because, I mean, these kids need a father. So as many years as he choose to hang around, let him. Let him hang around. The kids need some exposure to a man for as long as they can. But you can't stop your husband from leaving you. There's nothing. There's no law, no community, nothing in place these days. The only thing you have to go by is hoping he stay. That's it. It's hope, faith. That's all you got. Ain't nothing else in place to keep that man responsible. And they all change. They all change over time. Over time, you don't look the same. She don't look the same. She changed. She this. They will find a reason to upgrade. It happened to me twice, guys. Twice. But conflict management is one. If you're going to be with a husband and you're determined to endure until he leave you, if you're determined to endure until he leave, then learn how to manage the conflicts. Don't let stuff just get swept under the rug. If you need to go see a lawyer and get alimony while you in that marriage, do it. Figure it out. Push back in marriage. You got to. Otherwise, he just gonna run off with everything and give it to the next woman. And we make it easy being doormats. We make it easy by not having conflict management skills. We make it easy for them. I made it too easy to be left. I made it too easy. So I hope this helps somebody. Of course, it's going to piss off a lot of people. That's okay. You know, I'd rather you be pissed off with independence than pissed off broke because some man used you for 32 years. Or, your husbands used you and just ran off and gave the next women everything and called you every name in the book. After you fed their kids, changed their diapers, sent their kids to school, you the one that did the work. I did the work. The other women get blessed. I did the work. The other women get blessed. All because his feelings changed, y'all. His feelings. See, they accuse us of being all feeling oriented. We the ones that got the feeling problem. No, they can just feel unhappy one day. They can just feel like they don't get enough love all of a sudden. They can be jealous of the kids and just leave you and take all the money over some feelings. Happiness is overrated. It costs too much. It can cost generational wealth for a long time. That's how much happiness costs. It can leave families broken for generations. It's overrated. A man's happiness is overrated. It's overrated because it's only based on new pussy. That's it. It's based on new pussy. It ain't got nothing to do with anything else. It don't. Because to them, a woman is a woman anyway. We're all just, what? Every man can get 10, 7 to 10 women with no problem. They brag about that. How we're easily disposable. I can just go get another one. Just like, boom, it's already 10 out here. While we're in the house trying to figure things out with these men, there are 10 women on the outside waiting for them to come out of your house. And this is what they're throwing in our face all the time. And these women are desperate. They're thirsty. They need their bills paid. So that's the pressure that they try to, put us up under. Well, I don't care what's going on outside the house. You're in these four walls with me right now, and you're going to do right. If I have to take you to court to do right, I will. So if you want to run out there and let all these 10 women attack you, go. I'm standing here. You go out there and let them women get you. Some of them look skank, ruthless. Go. You bragging about these women, go on then. Here, let's open the door and go ahead and chase after these women. That's what you want to do. That doesn't threaten me. Other women don't threaten me. So men have to come out of another bag. I like women too. Hell, we can share. I'm different. I'm real different. Not your everyday PhD. No, I'm not. I'm not your everyday PhD. No, I'm straight from the hood. Biblical incest hood. Biblical hood. Incest in my family. You know what I'm saying? Husbands get other women on you. Biblical hood. Not no easy life. Definitely not for the weak. So yeah, I will be working on things like that. I used to teach conflict management, actually, guys. That's why I brought this up. I used to actually teach conflict management um, to families, but it was more so helping parents resolve conflicts with their children. So it was a little bit different angle, but still good information that could be used in marriages too. Yeah. So yeah, I used to teach families that were going through the court system, um, and they needed to go through some type of, family counseling kind of thing. So I used to work for the county, um, teaching, conflict management to broken families. And my own family, they needed it. But it didn't come out into my family until later. A lot of the problems I'm talking about now, it happened like after like year 15, 16 in the marriage. So back when I was teaching conflict resolution and all that to other families that were court ordered, um, you know, those type of issues weren't like in my face yet in our marriage. Like the obvious cheating, the obvious you messing with my daughter's girlfriend, all that obvious stuff came out later in my marriage. But yeah, so that's why I brought this up because I have taught families that were court ordered before conflict management. Speaking of my PhD, somebody in the comments before I turned the comments off was she ain't no doctor. Well, I'm not the kind you're used to. The hood kind. I'm the hood kind. I'm like a layman type, but I do got real degrees and the student debt to show it. So, all right, guys, I'm gonna get on off of here, and I think I'm gonna talk more about this, moving forward. Because to me, conflict management, evil management, dealing with our shadow side, dark side, the problems that, you know, that we have to deal with every day. Every day, whether we married or not, we still got family and friends that we, grew up with and, experienced things with. So yeah, you are witnessing a broken woman. Well, I'm not as broken as I was, but I have a channel that's sharing my story. And part of my story is from my childhood. I cover stuff from my childhood. I cover stuff from, my marriages, uh, just previous experiences in life. So that's what this channel is, how my life ended up broken. And you're watching my healing journey right now. The brokenness didn't happen, and I'm on the healing journey. So that's what you're watching on my channel. And you will question this if I'm a real doctor or not, because most doctors do not show their hand. They don't show their pain. They're not going to tell you their issues. Normally, you pay doctors so you can tell them your problems so they can fix you. Well, here, I am a PhD person out here who has had a problem in my life, and I'm willing to share it for free. And if you want to laugh at me and mock me, fine, go ahead. Wednesdays, you can even pay to do it. you know? But at the end of the day, I know there are a lot of people like me out here. A lot of people just like me out here. And that's why I do this channel. To help people know that they're not the only one. They know they're not the only one, but you can feel that way. You can feel that way. Just like men, they don't be as unhappy as they claim. They just tired of this set of responsibilities and rather go play across town. That's the extent of their unhappiness. Because if they were that unhappy, they would really take a break from relationships. Like they would do self love, self care, and spend time with themselves if it was really about being happy. But jumping from my panties and straight into somebody else's panties in the name of happiness, that makes no sense. It makes no sense because women are women. Now, we each have our own flavor, but we still expect the same stuff. Most women want their man to provide in some kind of way, be home and spend some time. It, how does that vary from woman to woman? A little bit of variance. Maybe this woman don't need all her bills paid, and maybe this other woman just want 50% paid. I don't know. The variance is so small and irrelevant. I don't see how affecting generational wealth for 2 and 3 generations makes that variance worth it. I don't see it. But again, I haven't dealt with generational wealth building type men, the kind that were serious and sticking to it and putting shit in writing. I wasn't dealing with those types. And at my age, I don't have the energy to deal with anybody else on that level anyway. So all I can do is report out on what happened to me. And some people would appreciate it, and others will mock me and laugh, and that's fine. I'm good. I know this is going to happen. So that's why I just turn my comments off and just say what I'm going to say. All right, you all be blessed. Get your love from God. Trust no man. Always have you a plan. And avoid you and your children at all costs being broke because their father don't want y'all no more. That's all I can say, ladies. If you're blessed with a good man that's responsible, good. But most of us out here are being dumped after after we put the work in. After we put the work in. After we put the work in, we're getting dumped on the road and laughed at by the new woman. These women be helping these men. They help these men leave their family behind broke. They help them, y'all. I've seen it. I had the other woman living in my house. I mean, I didn't choose this, so to speak. Unusual circumstances. But at the end of the day, the other woman is in my face, in my house, mocking me, laughing at me in my face. Stealing my husband right in my face, laughing at me in my face. It's their choice. They grown. What am I supposed to do? I was raised, don't bite the hand that feeds you. And he was feeding both of us, so I had to tolerate it. I had to let a 20-year-old mock me in my own face in my home with my own husband. I endured that shit. So I know what I'm talking about. These men will have these women in your home, in your face, ready to go, ready to put you out. But in the marriage, I ain't even have money to get a lawyer in the marriage to defend myself. I couldn't even defend myself. But yeah, he get to get a whole new wife after putting me through all that. But that's how we women are. We're like that. We don't care what these men have done to other women. We don't care. We just glad to have them now. We're just glad to have our turn with them. That's been my experience. So I don't fight. I just let these people do what they want. And now I've learned to stay to myself. I don't want to be bothered with nobody now. I tap out. But, I'm not antisocial. So I do like going out. I do like traveling and going to clubs and things like that. So I'll continue to do that and focus on my kids and grandkids. And I encourage most women to do that too. I encourage most women to stay independent, get your independence and keep it. Never let it go. Don't depend on nobody. You can't depend on your parents. You can't depend on husbands. You can't depend on the government. You can only depend on God. And when God say, do this, do this, do this, listen to him. Listen to God. Learn his voice in your soul. Learn his voice and do what he say. Because he knows what your husband's doing. He knows what your parents are going to do and not do. He already know. He know what the government's going to do. Most High knows. So put our trust in him. And if a husband ever say, I'm going to love you and be with you forever and all that, just smile and know that he has good intentions, but he don't have the power to even keep the words he say. Because again, he has an appointed time to die one day. You can say I do at the altar, and that man can die that same night. Then what? He can die that same night. But he can also, that same night, on your wedding night, sleep with your bridesmaid. He can do that. The bride, you know what I'm saying? His other woman might be sitting out in the audience at your wedding. His other woman might be at your wedding. You don't even know. Life be that dirty. Life be that dirty. The other woman have helped him pick out your ring and is sitting at the wedding. The other woman. She's a part of your marriage and ready for it. You don't know. You don't even know. But be aware, this stuff is just not on TV. It's not just TV stuff. This stuff happened for real. If you slow down long enough and look at all the women in your family and in your community, on your block, the women at your job, pay attention. You're not exempt from experiencing these things. You're not. But we must learn how to deal with these things. We must learn how to deal with them so that you and your children are not just flat out left hanging and broke while you're being laughed at with the other woman. Those other women are cruel. I've endured them. I've endured them. And they are cruel, honey. They go out their way. Go out their way. I had to live with the other woman for years while she was just being nasty. And yeah, I was foolish and dumb and stupid. I get it. Yeah. For those of I wouldn't be as dumb as you. Good. Please don't. And that's why I got this channel. That's why I'm telling my story. So other women won't be as dumb. Exactly. Please don't be stupid. Okay, I love you guys. Stay encouraged out there. And you have every right to do what works for you. Do what works for you. Whether you stay or go, do what's best for you, women, you and your kids. I know what it's like to leave, and I know what it's like to stay. I've had both experiences. I know the benefits of both. There's pros and cons to both, leaving and staying. There are pros and cons. And you as a woman has to weigh it all out. But whatever you do, I say be independent, whether you married or not. Being married is not an excuse to not be independent because he is appointed to die one day at the very least. And chances are he's going to leave you for another woman anyway. So be prepared. All right, guys. Love you. Bye.